Hello there folks, welcome to Silent Film Saturday episode number 24. I'm the Lon Chaney reviewer, and this week's episode I shall be discussing the 5-part serial from the director of Les Vampires, comes Fantomas. This 5-part serial is directed by Louis Feuillade, and it chronicles the story of the master criminal Fantomas, who is a master of disguise, not the really bad Dana Carvey movie, but a true master of disguise, and he's being hunted down by the police. So let's just take a look at the supplemental features first. This is I love the cover of this. This is the poster for Fantomas, and I love the worn out edge look of the cover. It's like a slipcase, and it's one of the slipcases that I really love, because I love how both sides have the question mark and the disguise of Fantomas. 5 films on 3 discs, and basically on each disc has a couple films. Let me just double check. Disc 1 has 2 films. Disc 2 has 1 film, and then disc 3 has 2 films. Basically, you have 2 commentary tracks by David Callett, who's a really cool film historian. 2 rare Feuillade films, A Nativity and The Dwarf. Louis Feuillade, Master of Many Forms documentary, and a gallery of images. In total, each film, first film, Fantomas in the Shadow of the Guillotine, 54 minutes. Juve versus Fantomas, 62 minutes. Murderer's Corpse is 90 minutes. Fantomas vs. Fantomas is 60 minutes, and The False Magistrate is 71 minutes. So, that's Fantomas. Now, excuse me. This 5-part serial, I watched this maybe a year and a half ago, and it took me a long time to finish it, because there are other silent films that are much easier to watch because of the way the camera cuts and things like that, but this is a bit slower. Remember, this is before Birth of a Nation and Intolerance and films like that. So it's kind of it's pre-1915. It's 1913 through 1914. It's a 5-part serial. Now, serials back in the ye olden days, well, a lot of my audience is older, but if you're much younger and you don't know what a serial is, every week, or usually every week or every month, there'd be a new serial, a new part of the same story. And unless you were really lucky, you didn't get to see all the parts. For example, Lone Ranger, or definitely Zorro, Robin Hood, pulp heroes like that, Flash Gordon. Those are, stuff that inspired George Lucas to make Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Stuff that sometimes you miss a few things and you would get the feeling that it's a larger universe, maybe, or maybe not larger universe, but there's more going on. That's why the beginning of Star Wars is actually an action sequence, and what you get is a scroll. It's previously on, Star Wars, which is really interesting. And that kind of happens in Fantomas as well. There's a little brief recap in each part. I like this film. I like this film a lot. I would recommend you check it out. I don't know if I would say buy it on DVD, because, you might not like it, but I have it on DVD and I really liked it a lot. I really did. Now, the actor who plays Fantomas, I can't remember his name off the top of my tongue, but I really liked him as Fantomas. He was, clever, he's ruthless, He is just what you would expect from a master of disguise or a master criminal. He's a character who you can change his mustache and change his appearance somewhat, and he looks like a completely different person. That's amazing. That's really cool. And then you have Inspector Juve, who's kind of like the Inspector Javert of this type of movie, where his purpose in the movie is to track down Fantomas. And I liked his character. I don't know if I would say the performance, but his character worked for the sake of the film. There is a love interest for Fantomas who kind of has a love-hate thing for him, because he uses her, but then again she's so fascinated by the character of Fantomas. and the police are looking for him, but Fantomas always outwits them somehow. Somehow, some way, he figures out a way to outwit everyone, and I love that type of character. The character that can always outsmart you. You know, he's a great villain, and, you know, he's not a stupid villain. Because I mean, as much as I like a lot of villains in today, a lot of them are just stupid. You know, they're stupid because the script asks them to be stupid. This is a villain that I genuinely think is intelligent, and he's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. He's not written like that. He's written like the way he is to be genuinely threatening, and you're always like, oh darn, is that Fantomas? You're left with a sense of, you know, uncertainty, and you're like, wow, that's really effective considering the film is actually like 100 years old now. I just realized that, 1913, that's 100 years ago. I don't think I've ever reviewed anything that was 100 years old on this channel yet, and this is the first thing. So that's really cool. And in 2 years' time, Birth of a Nation will be 100 years old. But regardless, this thing is old. And some of the print is damaged, although it looks good considering its age. And some scenes are missing. And you have to, there's like title cards explain things. Similar to, one moment please. Metropolis. There was some missing scenes in this, but they're explained with a title card. So, that happened. I don't know. I just really find this film fascinating because it's an earlier film. It's like, you know, you see it's a more stagey. Sometimes there's like little close-ups here and there, but it's mostly like an establishing shot. Like, let's just say if I took a shot of my man cave and just had events play out. That's basically what this movie is like for the most part. But there are some close-ups and certain shots that are intriguing and that are closer that pull you into the story and really have you intrigued. And yeah, I also look forward to seeing Les Vampires, his more famous work. It's like 6.5 hours long total. It's a series of 10 episodes. I won't be reviewing this for at least a year because I will not be reviewing a film that is like it, the equivalent of 5.5 hours. Because this is a very long film, and that's why this episode might be going up a little later than usual because it's hard to get through. It's not like with The Kid or Thief of Baghdad, Birth of a Nation. It's 3 hours done. No, there's like multi-discs that I have to get through. I don't really have too much to say about this movie except I really loved his disguises and just really clever stuff in this movie. It's a really nice film that you appreciate, you know, for how it's able to use cinematic techniques and how old it is and the performance of Fantomas. And I'd say check it out. I mean, I'm not going to say, you know, buy it because, you know, it might be expensive for some people. I don't want you just to buy a film and then be like, oh, I liked it, but that's it. But you know what? Maybe borrow it from a friend, or there really aren't too many like rental establishments anymore. Redbox would not carry this. I would hope Kino would get this on Netflix. This would be a perfect Netflix movie because you can just like watch it on Netflix one day, then another day watch it, another day watch it. Little to no risk. Definitely, I really liked it. Next week, I'm going to review 1928's The Passion of Joan of Arc. This is the last film I'm doing for the 19th episode Pulse series. And from that point on, it's just going to be like fan requests and films of my choice. Like, my choice. For a while, finally. And that's really about it. Thank you guys for watching Silent Film Saturday episode number 24, Fantomas. Next week, The Passion of Joan of Arc. See you guys next week.